Hello, everyone. Welcome to School After Hours podcast, where we talk about all the real work behind successful out of school programs, education, leadership, and youth development. I'm your host, Jay Lee, but today I'm handing the mic over. Yes, I am. Every now and then, we invite a former guest to come back, not just as a guest, but as a host to the show. They get the opportunity to take over the show, bring a topic that they're passionate about, and share the lessons they've learned through their own experience. And today's guest takeover is one that you are going to want to hear. If you've ever had a conversation with a staff member that you kept putting off, if you've ever avoided giving difficult feedback, or if you've ever walked away from a conversation thinking, ooh, that could have gone a little better, this episode is for you. Taking over the School After Hours podcast today is Juan Alvarado. Juan has joined us before to talk about leadership and building strong program culture. He is a speaker, he's a leader, he is a consultant and a coach with experience in both youth development and business. And today he's taking a topic that every leader, supervisor, and program manager has to face: difficult conversations. Why do we avoid them? Why do so many leaders feel unprepared to have them? And more importantly, how can we get better at having the conversation that needs to be had? Juan is bringing his experience, his perspective, and let's just say it, he's not afraid to give you the real deal. So get comfortable, turn up your volume, and get ready for a conversation that might make you a little uncomfortable, but could make you a much better leader. With that being said, let's go ahead and start the show.
Hey, what up, everybody? I am your host for today. First, let me just welcome you all to the podcast takeover for School After Hours podcast. I am your host, Juan Alvarado, for today. She's been so gracious in letting me take over for this episode. And this episode is going to be packed full of a big punch. So let's get our big boy and big girl pants on, because you might get punched in the chin a little bit when it comes to the reality of the OST space. So today we are going to be talking about why we avoid difficult conversations and how do we address difficult conversations. This is near and dear to my heart. This is what's making me travel all over the United States to speak about, because it is a hot topic right now with people a little afraid, a little timid, and not trained, if you will, in how to have difficult conversations. At the end of the day, people don't do a good job. People show up late. People have issues. People have problems. And people are too afraid nowadays to ruffle feathers, to push the envelope, to be open and honest without, quote unquote, hurting somebody's feelings. I will be the first to tell you that it's not about hurting feelings, but it's about standing up for the organization and the standard that has been set so that programs can be the best, kids can have your best, and we need to have the best staff for the best students. We need to have the best organization for the families and for the communities. And if we let things go through the cracks, it's going to start to crumble. So let's just jump into it. This first part, 3 reasons why people avoid tough conversations. The first one is we were never trained. A lot of us in the OST space, when you first get hired, you literally get kicked into the pool like the whole 300 movie, like this is Sparta, and they get the full kick. Like this is after school program, swim. Like you just get pushed into it. If you are lucky, you get into after school program in the OST space with full kickoff training. A lot of organizations out there will have full kickoffs. You train for 2, 3, 4 days, some a week. I spoke at a program where they do intro training for 2 whole weeks. I was like, what? 2 weeks? This is crazy. I have other people like, you get 5 minutes. Like, this is what we do. This is where you're going to be. Go get them. But for the most part, 2, 3 days, maybe a week of training. But you find out this is the job. This is where you're going to be. You're going to be with this grade. These are our rules and these are our standards. And that's it. When you are lucky enough to move up, or if you have experience in leadership, some of y'all will have a leadership position. And they'll tell you exactly how many staff you have, where you're located. The same thing, but at a higher level. but we never really truly get trained in you might have to write somebody up. You might have to put somebody on a PIP, a performance improvement plan. You might have to hold somebody's hand to walk them through this. You might have to write them up a second time. Some organizations don't even go through and tell you this is step 1, verbal, step 2, written, step 3, another written, step 4, you get me, your boss involved. And then step 5, we put them on a performance improvement plan. Step 6, we let them go or fire them. Some organizations don't even walk you through those processes. And if they do, they don't talk about how difficult this conversation is going to be. And that is the reality, that even though programs 90% of the times are sunshines and lollipops, some staff have difficult conversations with students, and even that, it's difficult. Sometimes we have to have difficult conversations with parents. The other part is amongst this quote unquote after school program family, or people will say work as a family, which on side note, I don't think it is. But you have to have a difficult conversation with your staff. Or let's flip the switch. Sometimes staff have to have a difficult conversation with their boss. And sometimes middle management has to have a difficult conversation with their boss. And it gets sticky. So, issue number 1 is that we're never fully, really, wholeheartedly trained. And so I'm looking over at my notes here, and I have written here, we trained people to fill out timesheets, not how to give hard feedback. People think being nice is safer than being honest. Most managers aren't leaders. They're conflict avoiders in leadership roles. Oh, there's the first punch to the chin. If you weren't trained for the fire, then don't be shocked when you freeze. We have to understand that stuff is going to happen. So let's do this instead. Let's get trained. Let's learn frameworks, and let's practice language like, listen, I care about you, and I'm doing this because I do. I need to be real with you. I'm setting the standard this high because I know that you are fully capable of raising the bar. I know that you are capable of doing a very good job. Today, it slipped a little bit. The standard, you fell below the standard. My job, because I care about you, is to bring you right above the standard again. And together, we can do this. Now, we're not going to get all the training today, but I will tell you to talk to your staff, talk to your bosses, talk to your organizations on how do we have difficult conversations. This first one is we need to practice good, brave language. And how do we do that? We get trained. Which leads me into step 2. They don't have the reps. Our staff, your bosses don't have the reps in. People are afraid, so they avoid conflict. There are some people that are pushovers. There's some people that will walk over you. There's some people that handle situations too soft. There's people who handle it too rough. Either way, people will say, I don't want to offend anybody, so let me back up. Or I'm too afraid, and they back up. And so you don't put in the repetitions in having difficult conversations. Sometimes even simple conversations. Well, so-and-so is in a bad mood, so I don't want to ruffle any feathers, so I won't talk to them right now. You're avoiding a difficult conversation. Simple conversations with parents. Oh, he looks mean. He's got a shaved head. He has tattoos. He's too scary, so I'm not going to talk to him. You're avoiding the repetition. Sometimes telling your spouse or a mom or a dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, I don't want to go out to eat, or I'm upset. Difficult conversation. You're avoiding it, and so you're avoiding the reps. Less reps, less ability, right? So if you avoid conflict every single time, you'll never build that muscle. Just like a gym, reps equals strength. No reps, you got weak feedback game. We have to put in the repetitions if we are going to grow. Avoiding conflict is how you guarantee that you're going to suck at it. Like if you don't do it, you're going to be bad at it. Just like anyone who doesn't know how to ride a bike. You're going to be horrible at first. But once you do it, you will become great. Ride a little bit faster. Ride with one hand. Ride with no hands. Take it off of a jump. Like you become better at it. So much so that you have other people ask you, How did you get here? How did you do that? And when you do so many reps, you can now become a teacher, an educator in how to have difficult conversations. So let's go back. You were never trained, so you skip out on it. You don't do the reps, so you skip out on it. So if you're trained and put reps, that's 2/3 of the problem already taken care of. So start small, practice hard truths in low stake moments. Build up your rep count. Every rep will get you that much better. From saying no to saying yes to not right now. People do this in the workplace. People will do a job really well, and then they'll get more work because they do a really good job. And then they start to get like inundated with more work, and they don't know how to say no because I'm too nice. Difficult conversation. Hey, I can do that after I do X, Y, and Z. When do you need it done by? Because I have these 3 things that have a Friday deadline or a 2-week deadline, and that's going to push. Do you need it done now, or can I do it after? And sometimes a boss or someone who's handing that off to you might say, oh, I had no idea that you had all this on your plate. I can guarantee you there's a lot of bosses out there, a lot of staff out there that don't know what's on your plate. So if you can practice this communication is a repetition. Repetition, 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 repetition. Build up your rep count. 3, this one's tough. You're carrying childhood conditioning. You're carrying childhood trauma. Here's you had the first punch, here's the next punch. You were brought up to sit down and shut up. You were told to speak when spoken to. Yep, I knew you can hear it. You finished the sentence in your head or out loud in your car or in your headphones before I even finished it. Why? Because you all have heard this before. So this little kid, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 16-year-old kid, you grew up in a household with just a mother, just a father, maybe both mother and father, uncle, grandma, whoever you were with, and they were from the old school where they told you to sit down and shut up. And I didn't ask you. Did I ask for your opinion? Boy, you better. And you just learned to keep your mouth shut. Well, that hurt nonverbal, if you will, to speak up 8, 9, 10, 16-year-old kid became a 21, 22-year-old staff in the OST space and worked their butts off, moved their way up. And now you're 25, 26, 27, 30, 40, however old you are, and now you're in this predicament where you're a leader and you have to have a difficult conversation, but the young you doesn't know how to do it, or the old you doesn't know how to do it. The young you is telling you, don't do it, it's scary, you're going to get yelled at, it's going to go horrible, it's going to go wrong, what if, what if, what if, what if? And you've been conditioned, and you've been carrying that with you. Be quiet, don't talk back, speak when spoken to. That's not leadership training. That's silencing. The little you, like in Spanish, for me, my name is Juan. Little Juan is Juanito. Little Juanito saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Mom's going to get mad. And you got to think, mom, it's not mom, it's boss, or it's my staff. But the little guy in me is saying, don't do it. So we're silencing ourselves. And now you're afraid of adults, afraid of confrontation, and you're wired to avoid discomfort. You weren't born conflict avoidant. You were trained to stay small since you were young. And so we have to go back and rewire ourselves to say, no, listen, if I could have only said something, I know that my voice is valuable. So go back to when you were a kid. Go back to when you were silenced. Go back to where it was first difficult for you and talk to the old self. I had to seriously sit down and do this. I had to sit down and tell myself, hey, Juanito, like 42-year-old me had to sit down, close my eyes, be in the dark, be in peace and quiet, and talk to 12-year-old Juanito and say, hey, listen, it's okay. You do have a voice. What you have to say is important, and it's worth saying. It's going to mend your relationship with mom. It's going to mend your relationship with dad. It's going to mend your relationship with your teacher, with your principal, with whatever. And I went through each age of hurt, if I'm being real with you, and I had to say, you're okay. Let me give you a little something that you don't know. When you turn 22, this is going to happen. When you turn 25, this is going to happen. And if I could tell you now that you're going to be a successful speaker and go and speak at all these different educational places and schools and in organizations and corporations and nonprofit and for-profit, your voice is so big and strong. When I tell you that I had to revisit myself to take care of those past issues, I had no problem hitting difficult conversations head on. Why? Because I know that my voice has meaning and my voice has power. And it's not me, it's what do I want to come out of this situation? Because when I do it, I have better staff, I have a better program, I have better students under better supervision because they're stronger because of the conversation that I wouldn't want to have. So instead of living in the negative what if the conversation changes everything? What if this staff becomes better because of you? What if the organization becomes better because of this difficult conversation? So what do we need to do instead? Rewire, relearn, and practice using your voice with intention, not aggression. John Maxwell taught me that every 3 to 5 years, we will have to unlearn, learn, and relearn our job every 3 to 5 years. So think about this. We're already at the 5th year mark, so things might change here come pretty soon. But think about this. COVID 2020. You had to learn how to do your job just a little bit different. You had to learn how to work from home. And then you worked from home for about 2 years. And then you had to learn how to go back. And you had to learn how to do your job differently. And then we had COVID funds. And then you had to know how to use those funds. And then guess what? 3 to 4 years later, those funds are no longer there anymore. So what are we going to do and how are we going to get this funding? You had to unlearn, relearn, and learn again on how to do your job differently. And now that we're in 2025, 5 years later, guess what? Some stuff is going to change. Not to get political, but there's a lot of people upset about federal funding changing. Your state funding changes every single year. If you pay attention to the funding in your state, there's state cuts every single year and things change. Maybe you have more, maybe you'll have less. But either way, every 3 to 5 years, you're going to have to learn how to unlearn, learn, and relearn your job. Here's the scary part. If we had COVID 5 years ago and things had to change, and this year people are worried about funding, you're going to have to change something in about 3 to 5 more years after this. So are you ready? That's a difficult conversation that an organization has to have with itself, right? So we have to be able to rewire our thought process to make us stronger. John Maxwell also taught me that great leaders know more and know before. Read up, learn, how do we take care of this thing? How do we get more funding? How do we get different funding? How do we get newer staff, better staff? How do we take care of the staff that are 25 or younger and their brains are in still development mode? I just did a video on this. That I posted today, that we give students, quote unquote, a break because their brains don't fully develop until they're 25. So they're going to have issues. They're going to have mistakes. But yet we have an issue with staff that are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, who come and work late, who think that 2:15 is on time of 2 o'clock. And we get pissed and we get upset and we get aggravated and we get all these things, but yet we forget the whole thing of their brain isn't fully developed until they're 25. This gives us a perfect time and a perfect space to train those staff. Difficult conversation. Hey, let me show you what on time means. People are like, why do we have to teach them that? Old school people, myself included. Why do we have to teach them how to be on time? Shouldn't they already know that? They don't. Their brain isn't fully developed. But I've been working on this training 2-3 years ago. Why? Because I knew it was coming. I knew the young staff or the young staff that we have now were coming 3, 4, 5 years ago. And so how do we connect with these staff? Sometimes we might have to have a difficult conversation. Here's the last part, a bonus, if you will. When we have these difficult conversations, I learned by a gentleman by the name of Vin Yang that there are 4 different archetypes of how we speak. There's motivator, there's educator, there's coach, and there's friend. Those of you that say that you're a pushover and too soft, more than likely you're having these difficult conversations in just friend mode. It seems friendly And so you use vocabulary like, hey, well, something kind of happened yesterday, and I don't know if we're allowed to. And it's, if you don't take yourself serious, your staff's not taking you serious. And so you're using this friendly banter. And so, like, picture this: when a friend tells you, hey, I'm having people come over, I want you to come, be here at 7, what time do you show up? I know for those people that are like me, you're showing up about 45 minutes, an hour late. Like, you are fashionably late. Why? Oh, because we're friends. Don't worry about it. It's cool. So when you're having a difficult conversation, like coming in on time, and you're having this friendly conversation, well, they're not going to take you seriously because you're having this friend talk. Then you have the extreme opposite. You have motivator, right? A way that I used to lead. I had to admit, this is not the way you lead, Juan, but it took me a while to figure this out, that I would speak from motivator. Look, this is what we're doing. We need everybody to show up. This is the line. This is the standard. I need everybody to do it. You get on the train or you get off. Some people don't like that, and some people do. But I have the whole conversation in motivator. Those pushover people have the conversation just in friend. But then there's something like educator, where educator lists things out. Hey, there's 4 things that we need to understand when we work here. 1, we have to show up on time. 2, we show up with a smile on our face and show our teeth because we're working with kids, and so we want to smile every day. 3, we need to be prepared. 4, we need to help each other out. And so if we can do these 4 things, and so that sounds great, right? But when we only talk in educator, it sounds like, hey, there's 4 things that you need to do. You need to show up on time. You need to do this. You need to do this. And you need to do this. And educator sounds condescending. There's 3 things that you need to do that you're not doing. And so it sounds condescending. Coach is a little bit firm. We flow with our words and we try to a little bit like motivate, but it's absolute. Coaches will say, this is the job. This is what we need to get done. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. They just roll. Think about a coach. Football coach grabs somebody by the face mask and says, listen, you can't miss a tackle. Put your helmet in their numbers, tackle them, knock them out. They flow with their words. Motivator flows with the words, but motivator is trying to get you amped up. Coach is showing you or telling you what to do and then allows you to go back out there. So Juan, how do we take care of all this? Great leaders will learn how to flow through all 4 of these. Hey, have a seat. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Love the work that you're doing. There's a couple things that we need to go over. Our standard here when we first hired you said that we were going to do these 4 things. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You do these 3 really well. There's one that you've fallen below the standard and we need to bring you back up. I'm going to work with you to do these 1 or 2 things. We're going to do X, Y, and Z, and this is what we need from you. This is the standard. Can we agree that you fell below the standard? Awesome. What do you need from me to be successful? Let me go over what success looks like. This is what success looks like. And we go through that. And if I can do this whole talk with you, we'd be able to go through those 4 a little bit better and a little bit deeper. But if you go back and play this over again, you will hear friend, coach, motivator, and educator through that example. And I flowed through them. So leadership isn't about picking one voice. It's about knowing when and how to switch. Great leaders will blend these voices in one conversation. Bad leaders get stuck in one gear, and they're usually too soft or too sharp. Listen, you don't need to be perfect. You need to be practiced. You don't need to raise your voice. You need to find it. And lastly, leadership isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about mastering it. And if you catch what I just said in these 3 things, you heard my voice come up and flow really well, and then I slowed it down and I got quieter. And what happened to your ear and to your body language? You probably leaned in to listen, to capture the moment. And this is what great leaders do. We know how to use this voice as an instrument. Yes, your voice, your throat, your vocal box is an instrument, and you have to learn how to use it for difficult conversations. Well, that is it for this first portion of the podcast. Thank you so much. Get ready as we shift gears into the Professionals Lounge. Hey, welcome back to the Professionals Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, right now in Professionals Lounge, I want to talk to those new professionals, young professionals, and I want to give you some insider information, if you will, on how do you carry yourself a little bit better, do a little bit better. How do you become like a veteran in rookie shoes, if you will. So a couple things. I want you to understand that you're not babysitting, you're building the future. So let's talk how you lead like it and from it. So number one, I have some tips for you is show up like you matter because you do. I need you to understand that the organization has had a problem or an issue that they needed to solve. The community that you're in has children, youth that go to school and don't have anything to do from 3 to 6. So the organization has come in to say we're going to run an after school program. That matters. Those lives from kinder all the way to high school matter. So, how do you show up every single day? Believe that you do. Don't shrink, speak up, ask questions, and offer solutions. You have to show up every single day. Those students are going to show up every single day. One of the things that I say in my keynote is that you are probably the most regular and consistent thing in those kids' lives. Sometimes moms don't show up. Sometimes dads don't show up. Sometimes it's grandma that picks them up, or it's the babysitter that picks them up. Sometimes they play little league soccer, baseball, football, whatever, and moms and dads can't show up all the time. So there's a lot of inconsistencies in these children's lives, and you're probably the most regular thing in these kids' lives. Show up and show up with intention and show up like you matter. If you don't know what to do, ask. You don't know how to build a relationship with a student, ask. All you need to do is show consistency. Show up every single day. People will say, I just want a shortcut. Like there's no shortcut, right? 5-minute abs, 6-minute abs. No, you can't, not going to get abs in 6 minutes. It's the consistency part of it. You'll get that from eating certain things and working out every single day, but you're not going to get it in 4 or 5 minutes. You're not going to build a relationship with a student in 5 minutes, but you can plant a seed. Speak up, ask questions. Your staff and coworkers should be there to help you up. Understand that you're not just a staff. You're setting culture every single day. Every day that you don't show up, you're creating a culture. Every day that you show up but you're angry, you're planting a seed of a different culture. Every time that you have issues or problems or you start to complain, you're watering the seed of something that you don't want to fester. I'll say it like this: show up happy, show up proud. You get to work with students every single day. You're not just part of the team, you are the culture. So show up. 2, learn the unwritten skills. Communicate clearly, be dependable, and you can help out by handling feedback like a pro. Understand that you don't know everything and you won't know everything, but it's okay to want to learn and it's okay to get things wrong. Say fail and fail fast, but do it in a way that's going to be cohesive to the team and learn every single step of the way. You're going to have an evaluation, 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 120-day, middle year, end of the year, every semester, whatever it is, learn from it. Like I love to fail. I've learned to love to fail because I'm like, all right, what do we need to do next? What do we need to do next? In the news just the other day, sports news, Patrick Mahomes, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, said, I'm glad we didn't win the Super Bowl. It allows us to learn how to become better. It's beautiful. Learn how to become better from the losses, right? No one teaches this in onboarding, but it's what the leaders notice most. I need and want a staff that's coachable and moldable. It's not the title that will make you a leader. It's how you show up when no one's watching. You have to show up, and no one is going to teach you that except for those of us who've been in the game for so long. 3, keep the fire. Protect your energy. Passion is powerful, but understand that burnout is real. Now, I'm not saying to work every single day and show up every single day and be the best every single day and go wake up at 5 in the morning every single day and go to the gym every single day and work. You have to refill your cup. However, I will tell you this, don't complain about your cup being empty because then you're going to start turning into a complainer. Every seed that you plant, you will water. So if you complain all the time, that's going to grow into that type of fruit. But if you come with solutions, you come with communication, hey, I'm a little, burnt out. I need X, Y, and Z. Can you help support me in this? It'll be worth it. Again, Passion is powerful, but burnout is real. Take time for yourself. Disconnect from the clock. Don't work past when you're supposed to. Rejuvenate yourself so that you can come and give 110% tomorrow. Your kids need you. Your coworkers need you. Your organization needs you. Be wise on what you do outside of work hours. Don't sacrifice your peace trying to prove your worth. There are some people that will work their butts off to try to get ahead. Just be consistent and do it with a smile on your face. If you want to move up, work might take extra. That's how you become extraordinary. You do the ordinary a little bit better. You're extraordinary. That's what makes extraordinary. And that's what's going to level you up. But just be mindful and check your tank a little bit to understand where you are. Young professionals, I need you to understand that you're not the future. You're now. You are the present. So stop trying to think that, oh, we'll get it later. It'll be the next people. The people will get it after me. You need to understand that you're not the future, you're the now. Your kids need you now. Your community needs you now. The organization needs you now. Your coworkers need you now. The future will come, but we're here. This is the present, and you're here, and you've worked here for a reason. There is a reason and a purpose why you are here today. Be present, in the present, with your students. Be a person of impact and influence. Work with purpose, on purpose, towards a purpose, and I guarantee you, you'll be successful. Lead like it, work like it, believe it. So I hope that these tips will help young professionals understand work needs you, take it serious, pour into others, but also pour into yourself, and bring the passion with it. That's it. Thank you so much. Love y'all. God bless. And we will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this Juan Alvarado takeover of the School After Hours podcast. Thank you so much. Love y'all. Go be great. And remember, you are the perfect person for someone's imperfect situation. And that's why you're in this space. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.
Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of our show. If you liked what you heard and you enjoyed our conversation, make sure that you're following us on YouTube, but also hit that like button so we know what you are enjoying. You can also find us on other podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts if you want to listen to our audio version as well. To get more behind the scenes stuff, make sure that you're following us on our social media accounts, Instagram and Facebook at School After Hours. Well, that's all I have for today. In the words of Mr. Arthur Ashe, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Until next time, y'all. Bye-bye.